Are you curious about the home buying process and what's involved with that? Have you recently thought, man, I'd love to buy a house, but just don't know what that process looks like? I'm here to help you make sense of that process and walk you through it to make it as simple as possible. My name is Dave. I work with Fairway Independent Mortgage here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I can help you through that process. I want to tell you a story about my neighbor. Mike recently moved here from California. He was transferred from he was transferred with his company to come out here. He's in construction. So they transferred him out. His wife and kids followed him. And we started talking in the front yard about what the home buying process looked like. He found out that I was a lender. And it was real important for him to kind of put down roots here because he was in management with this company. His kids were of the age where they were going to be going. They're in the middle of their elementary years, so he wanted to kind of set roots down where he could get his kids through high school. So it was important that we found kind of the right place for him to be, the right situation for him, his wife, and his kids. So the first thing I did with Mike was I said, hey, look, we need to just kind of talk about the things that it takes to get you pre-approved. So the first thing you're going to do in the home buying process is you're going to contact a lender like me. We're going to help you get some things together. We're going to help you get your employment, your income documents all together so that the underwriter can take a look at those. We're going to take a look at your credit score, and we're going to talk about the money that you have to invest in this project. Now, working with a lender, there's kind of two different pathways that happen with lenders today. You can either talk to a lender and they can get you out of pre-approval right away, and then you just go shopping. And that's not really the right way to do it. That's not the way that I like to do it. That's not the way my team operates. What we like to do is sit down. We like to find out everything about you and the best possible way to get you a pre-approval. What that means is we're going to gather up all your income documents. We're going to gather up your tax returns, possibly your W-2s, depending on the type of job that you have. We're going to gather up paycheck stubs. We're just going to talk to you about your general situation, and we're going to put together a file, a complete file. Not just throw together a pre-approval letter and say, yes, we're good to go. We're actually going to throw together all your documents. And we're going to send it up and get it fully underwritten. That means an underwriter actually takes a look at the file and they give it a stamp of approval. That gives us an idea of the level of home that you can purchase. It'll give us an absolute number that you can purchase. It's not just a guess. We're not just running you through a simple system. We're actually going to disclose the file to you. We're going to have you sign all the documents. We're going to get it fully underwritten, and we're going to issue a fully underwritten pre-approval letter. There's a couple benefits for you in that. When you have a fully underwritten pre-approval letter, that puts you at the top of the pile when you're making offers on homes. It's very important that you get that type of letter because the home buying process can be competitive. And I think with rates doing what they're doing right now, when they start to come down, the market's going to get even more competitive. So to put you in the best possible position, we're going to get you a fully underwritten, pre-approved file. That way you know what you're going to do. The second part, that process can take anywhere from a couple days up to a week, depending on mostly how long it takes us to gather up the documentation from you. It's a pretty quick process once we have the documents together, so hopefully you're good with PDFs and emails. Next thing you're going to do is the fun part, and this is what was great for Mike and his family. We went out and got one of our realtor partners that worked great with families and actually had been in the field that Mike was in before, so I knew they would be a great fit. But we put them together with a realtor, and they went out and did the fun part. They went out, looked at houses. They talked about neighborhoods. They talked about where they want to be in relation to Mike's work. They talked about the school districts that they wanted to be in and what that looked like. They decided that they wanted to go to a 2-story home with a pool, so that was cool too. They had a lot of fun with checking out all the different pools. A lot of homes here in Vegas have pools. So that's kind of the cool part, right? We put them together with one of our partners. They go out, they find a house. Now what happens, right? That's step 2. And there's only really one step left in this very simplified version of how to purchase a home. Once you get into contract, once the realtor takes you out and you decide on a home, they're going to do the most important part of what they're going to do for you, which is make sure that the contract's written correctly, that they're protecting you as the buyer when they get you into that contract. so that you know what you're getting into and that you have time for things like inspections and appraisals. And they're going to even recommend some title and escrow people, which we'll get into in the next step. So realtor, as much fun as that is the most fun part of the home buying process, going out and looking at houses. It is also one of the most critical aspects of buying a home. And you want to make sure and end up with the right realtor so that one, you're comfortable, and two, you're totally protected in your contract and comfortable moving forward to the next step. In the next step, the file's going to come back to the lender. The realtor and the lender are going to work together from this point forward. We're going to get title and escrow open. The realtor's going to order an inspection, and we're going to order an appraisal. Now, the reason you want an inspection is you want an inspector to go into the home and really just go through the whole thing. They're going to check things like sockets. They're going to make sure the water works. They're going to make sure the hot water heater works, the air conditioner turns on. They're going to check things like in the attic. They're going to check the foundation. They're going to look at all kinds of different aspects of this home to make sure that it's a good value so that you know what you're getting into. You don't want to buy a house and go in and find out, oh, wow, the plug behind the refrigerator doesn't work or the water doesn't turn on. So those are things that the inspector's going to do. The lender's going to order an appraisal. Those are two very different reports, and they do different things. What an appraisal is it tells the lender that the home is worth the value that we're going to lend on. Because if we're going to lend you money, we want to know that the home is worth that. That's also great for you because you don't want to buy something that's not the value that you think it is. So an appraisal doesn't do anything like look up in the attic or check the water, make sure the plugs work. That's the inspector's job. The appraiser is just going to look at the property, look where it is, and give us an approximation of value and of what they think that home's worth. And that's what we're going to operate on as a lender when we talk about how much we're going to lend you for that particular home. So appraisals, usually not too big of a deal. Turns out realtors are great at approximating values on homes. So generally when we get into contract, it is generally right on the button with what the appraisal is going to come back. So not a big deal. All of these things are handled either by your lender, by your realtor, or as a team, we work those things together. Once we gather up all the documentation, we get your inspection completed, your appraisal completed. We already have the file pre-underwritten. So it just has to go back up to the underwriter with all those additional reports once you've identified a property, and then they give you their stamp of approval. That stamp of approval is what every lender, every realtor wants to hear. That's going to be your clear to close. Those are going to be big words for you when you're going through this process. When you are clear to close, we are now just waiting for the close date to come around. We're just waiting for this contract period to be done. Typically, the contract period's typically 30 days. So we're just going to wait around until the end of that contract comes up. We're going to send the documents over to the title and escrow company, and you're going to go there, meet with your realtor and your lender. You're going to sign those documents, and they're going to record with the city, and then the home is yours. So that was the process that we went through with Mike. We put him in a great neighborhood, 2-story home with a pool in the school district that they liked. It was really a great process. Now, I'll miss him as a neighbor, but hey, I was really happy to help put him in a home that he could kind of call his forever home while he's got kids in this stage of their life and upbringing kids. So that was great. So once again, just to kind of go over the bullet points, because there was a lot of information there. The first thing you're going to want to do is get with a lender. Call my team. Let's check out your credit, your employment, your income. That's your first step. Once we get you fully pre-approved, the fun part starts. You go out with a realtor, find a house. Then we get your contract back and we run that all the way to your clear to close, which are the best 3 words in this business. So there's a quick overview of the home buying process. It's not really daunting when you end up with the right lender and the right realtor. We make it really, really simple for you. So if you have any questions about the things we've talked about today, the home buying process in general, please contact me. My contact information is below, and I'll be happy to review any questions you have.